After a New York City subway conductor was brutally attacked by two people after making an announcement that the train was going to go express, the head of the union and the head of the New York City Transit Authority said it's time for body cameras for the conductors and the staff at the MTA. John Schiumo has the details. John?
Bill, we've all been frustrated when our express train is forced to go local because of signal problems or whatever, but two strap hangers could be facing years in prison after taking their anger out on a 62-year-old subway conductor. What happened over the weekend at a Brooklyn station, a man and a woman pummeling a conductor who was trapped inside the booth on his train. Sadly, this happens frequently. Just last month, 4 teenagers were caught on tape punching and kicking a 38-year-old bus driver in the Eastchester section of the Bronx. The Transport Workers Union, which represents subway and bus operators, says enough is enough. It is distributing most wanted posters at subway platforms around the city and taking to the radio to protect transit workers.
Operating and maintaining the New York City bus and subway system is a demanding job. The work is dirty, stressful, and often extremely dangerous. To make the job even tougher, transit workers are often the target of assaults by angry passengers.
So what can be done? As you mentioned, the head of the New York City Transit and the Transport Workers Union have reached an agreement to start a pilot program that would allow subway operators to wear body cameras, just like the NYPD. They hope the devices may make violent commuters think twice.
Our president, Tony Utano, wants to do a couple of things. One, to provide clear images so we can catch these guys, because there's not enough cameras out there. And then we figure if we catch them and then push hard for real punishment, that there'd be a deterrence effect as well.
Now, just a few years ago, Governor Cuomo signed legislation that elevated assault on a transit worker from a misdemeanor to a felony that could carry as much as 7 years in prison. That obviously didn't deter the folks over the weekend on the subway platform. By the way, if you know anything about that assault, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIPS. That is the latest, Bill.
Thank you, John. Okay, let's bring back our A-plus panel for tonight's show. Immigration attorney Afia Yunus and attorney and editor and publisher of the Save Jersey blog, Matt Rooney. Matt, let me ask you, from a legal standpoint, why are New Yorkers, it seems that they are just left defenseless?
What deterrent has worked? We've already put in place, it seems like, pretty strict sentencing guidelines for these cases. We already have cameras everywhere. Even when there aren't officially cameras, there's already cell phone cameras. What else can you do other than empower people to defend themselves? Unfortunately, in places like New York, that's not a popular concept.
I don't think I stand alone when creating an atmosphere of even more violence is going to solve the problem. I think perhaps focusing on reducing the frustration on the MTA's part, maybe increasing the sentencing guidelines, making them more public. I don't see how arming someone in this situation is going to de-escalate.
But we're not talking about more violence, though. We're talking about deterrence that would actually work. I mean, whether you're talking about protecting yourself from a hostile nation or protecting yourself from an angry commuter, if that commuter knows that the end of that interaction might be some serious immediate pain, they might think twice.
It's a sad state that we have to talk about someone defending themselves as just adding to violence instead of them being able to stand up for themselves. It is certainly time to get these conductors prepared to deal with these criminals. But we will see. Thanks, John. Thanks, guys.